Hello everyone, this is John Jenkins. Hello everyone, this is John Jenkins, and I'm here to tell you that my first space opera is one third through. So I'm at 34,081 words. I'm going to 100,000. So I passed one third yesterday, and I'm going to be offering a pre-order for this on Amazon. So this is going to be a pre-order book, and I'm gonna try to hype it up a whole bunch before it's released. So I'm gonna try to have this released. Let's see, I think I've got 7 more weeks before I finish. So I should have this released in 3 months. I want to do the spell check, do the grammar check. Uh, so yeah, I've got so I know it says 73 pages, but that's only because this it's in 800 it's in 8.5 by 11. So let's see. Let's change this to a book size, which would be A5. Close enough, A5. So we changed it to A5, and now it says I have 137 pages. So basically, at this pace, the final book is going to be about uh, uh, 408 pages. Yeah, 408 pages. It's going to be about 408 pages. So, but that could change. So, um, yeah. So I'm gonna be offering a pre-orders for this book. Basically, the story of this book is that I had always wanted to write. I'd always wanted to write a Starsiege Tribes omnibus. I wanted to write a Starsiege Tribes omnibus because that's my favorite online FPS in history. So I wanted to write a Starsiege Tribes omnibus. But sort of like the Warhammer 40K omnibus. But the issue was I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know how to get the rights because I didn't want to get sued by Dynamics if the or whoever owns Tribes now. I didn't want to get sued by the owner of Tribes for copyright infringement. So uh, uh, I decided that I wasn't going to write a I wasn't gonna write a Starsiege Tribes omnibus. I was gonna write a story that was inspired by Starsiege Tribes, and I did that. I tried to do that a few years ago. When I was writing my first novels. I tried to uh, I tried to write uh, I tried to write another two novels that were inspired by Starsiege Tribes, but I only got like 10,000 words into those novels and I quit because I was so inexperienced as a writer. But now now that now that I have some writing under my belt, I can actually finish a project like this. And so basically it's a story that's very similar to the Starseed Tribe story. The humans are on Earth, and then they have to leave Earth for some reason. Then they go out in space, and now they have to find a new home, and all the hijinks that happens in a situation like that also happens here. A big inspiration for this was I last year I read Taylor Genji by Lady Mirazaki. So I wrote Taylor Genji by Lady Mirazaki, which, if you didn't know, is the oldest known novel. So the oldest known novel. So you'll see that throughout this book I've got multiple poems and stuff like that. And the reason for those is that I was really inspired by Lady Mirazaki, where if you read Taylor Genji, there's always in between these chapters. There's all these poems. So that's why you see all these poems in here. plus it's part of my tradition because like with my first printed book, which was Task Exterra, when I with my first printed book, uh, which was Task Exterra, uh, I I I had like poems and stories. So that was my habit with my writing practice. I would get one writing prompt and I would write 1,000 word story and a 40 line poem for each writing prompt every day. So that's how I wrote my first book. But you know that it there were multiple influences on how I wrote this book. So I will be releasing this book I believe in 3 months. So I should be done writing it in 7 weeks. But I'll be releasing it in 3 months, and after that I will be able to um, fulfill all the pre-orders. So I'm gonna put a pre-order on Amazon right now, and I'm gonna do that. And I've also got two novellas. I've got two novellas. So uh, I've also got two novellas. So okay, 2019 novel challenge actual. So I've got Favor and I've got Flight Time. So I got two novellas, Favor and Flight Time. And yeah, you can see it up here. I've got the date and the time, and that's a whole like complicated system. Like if you've ever read W.E.B. Griffin, uh, he puts time in some of his novels, and it's really complicated to properly put time in a novel because of the change in time zones. So it's really difficult to implement time in a novel because of changing time zones. So so you don't want to put the wrong time zone, and then it's unrealistic. Like you don't want to put the wrong time zone, and then two things happen at the same time, but there's an hour distance in the time zone, so technically they didn't happen at the same time. So you can't just assume that that's the same time everywhere in the world, but at the same time, no pun intended. If you're switching between time zones and you're adjusting the time, you know, 2 hours ahead, 2 hours back, 6 hours ahead, then people can get confused. So if you do it correctly, people get confused. But if you do it wrong, people will say that you don't know time zones. So I came up with a compromise between those two extremes, and I hope people like this novella. Like I said, it's only 40,000 words. It's not a full novel. Um, and then there is Favorite Second Half. So this was the basically Favor is a rewriting. It's a rewriting of my first novel, and so my first novel was called Save Them. It was an objectivist novel in the vein of The Fountainhead or Atlas Shrugged. It was like that, but it was different, So that was my first novel, but yeah, this novel is basically a rewriting of that novel. I didn't there were certain things that I didn't like about my first novel. Save them, even though it's up for sale. There were certain things I didn't like about it, so I wanted to go ahead and rewrite it. And the reason why I put it up for sale was that it was my very first novel, my very first attempt, and I just really didn't want to throw it away because it was so much energy went into it, and it was such an expression of myself. I guess you would call it sunk cost fallacy, but it was such an expression of myself. I didn't want to let it go, so that's the reason why I put the first novel up for sale. But I tried to rewrite it, and I did rewrite it. But this is only 40,000 words. My first novel was 80,000 words. So this is a novella. These two are novellas, and so yeah, I'm gonna be editing those later on this year, and I'm gonna be posting these up to Amazon as well, along with my space opera that I just showed you. And so yeah, so I don't know if I'll put pre-orders for these. I got a really nice cover for this one. You're gonna like the cover for Flight Time. And so, being that they're only 40,000 words, I might just make these ebooks instead of paperback books. I don't know. I could go the Agatha Christie. Uh, uh, I could go the Agatha Christie and Danielle Steele route, and I could just make these things like I don't know, 4.5 by 6. I can make the books like four and a, like maybe like a trade paperback like a dime store novel. Murder on the Orient Express. I have that book. So if you see that book, it's really tiny. It looks like a pocket dictionary. So I was thinking that maybe I could make something that size. And then it wouldn't matter that much that it's only that it's only that it's only 40,000 words. Also, I was thinking that maybe I could, since these are both 40,000 words, maybe I could do some sort of uh, 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 the the slaughterhouse the slaughter what was it uh, there was a movie a few years ago that was basically two movies in one. I think it was the slaughterhouse something. It was the slaughterhouse something. Basically, I was thinking like just like that movie where they had the two movies in one. It was a double feature. It was a double feature. So I was thinking I can make a double feature novel and just have two 40,000 novels in one, and then I could market it that way. I was thinking that maybe that could happen, but that might not be the best idea. Uh, that might not be the best idea because I might have some sort of branding issue with that. So it's difficult either way because on the one hand, I don't want to put 40,000 word books out there because that might make people think that I'm lazy. But on the other hand, if I'm writing a double feature, it might have a bad effect as well. So I'll look into that for you guys. So yeah, so I'm gonna keep writing my space opera, and I'll let you guys know what happens in the future. But until then, have a nice day and goodbye.